Before the release of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and even before the first trailer, there was a long-standing rumor that the way that they were going to deal with T'Challa's passing was to show him die in battle during the opening of the film. Now the director of the film reveals why this was never an option. So this comes at us directly from Ryan Coogler, who was talking to the New York Times, and they bring up the long-standing rumor in regards to not just showing T'Challa's funeral, but also showing how he died in battle. And again, if you guys remember, this was something that was very much discussed by everybody because insiders said that this is what was going to happen. And how the film ended up using it ultimately in the end by having him die very early on, right there at the beginning, and then spinning off into the whole grief story and all that, I think was honestly done the best way they could have. He specifically wanted to then talk about the whole idea of, well, were we ever actually going to show him die in battle? And he outright says, no, this was never going to happen. There was no version of the script after Chadwick's passing where they even considered, okay, we're going to have somebody else suited up as T'Challa, they're going to die in battle, and then we're going to do the funeral. And he doesn't go too much into why, but essentially what he says is there was already a lot of grief, there was already a lot of trauma, there was already a lot of people that were just off being on the set of the film, not having Chadwick there. So this, he feels like, would have been even worse because you're just kind of killing the character right at the beginning of the film. And then you do the funeral, but we never see him. So, you know, he's right. We've discussed it here on the podcast before. I always felt uncomfortable with a death of the character happening like that because then, again, everybody would go, well, why didn't you just show us the face or something? And then other people would go, well, you could have just used a body double and showed us his face. It's like, no, it's getting a little too weird. It's in that whatever they were going to do, there's always going to be complaints, and certainly we've seen that. And again, to this day, I'm still going to say, if they made the best decision they could, I don't think it helps attacking them. I support the people that want to recast him still and that wanted to recast him. I support the decision they made and the decisions they made, even if I didn't like some of them, which I've been very vocal about. But overall, I'm glad that he's put an end to that rumor, saying this was never considered, and that's just insane because it really would have felt weird and jarring, in my opinion. It just, I don't know, it sits weird with me having the opening action sequence, he dies, and then the funeral starts, then you bring up the splash screen of Black Panther. Yeah, no.